Alright, there's 20 seconds to go. I can't really start the video yet because the game's not over, but I've got to stand up for this and I've had to remove the chairs because this one is just too good, alright? This is going to be a wild little video today. Blow it! Go on, give us another one. Blow the whistle! Blow the whistle, what are you doing? Yes! Yes!
Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0, in arguably one of the most frustratingly, awkwardly awful games of football I think I've ever seen. After a week of constant off-the-pitch turmoil, a nice result in Norwich, in East Anglia on Thursday night, and then I was excited for this game against Newcastle today, and the referee, who does share a name with a very average bird or duck in the UK, David Coote, he kind of had the whistle strapped to his mouth for the whole game, which kind of ruined what could have been an entertaining footballing spectacle. Chelsea, I'm not going to lie to you, got lucky with a couple of decisions today. Kai Havertz could have been sent off. I could have seen why he would have given it. I personally don't think he should have been. Not just because I'm a bloody Chelsea fan and I've literally just gone berserk because we have scored an 89th minute winner from the best on earth, Kai Havertz, once more. By the way, before we carry on talking, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. We have flooded your subscription feed with videos this week, and that is the best end to a Sunday with 7 minutes to go until midnight that I could have possibly dreamed of. You could see why Havertz could have been sent off, because he does catch Dan Burn in the face with his elbow. I get that, but at the same time, like, how on earth could he have even tried to jump for the ball in the first place without that kind of bodily movement? I don't think it would have been possible, so therefore I can see why he didn't get sent off. Then, Chelsea in the second half, Trevor Chalobah has just a mad couple of seconds and pulls Murphy to the floor, which I can also see as a stonewall penalty. But David Coote, the referee, was abysmal today. But in the end, the fact that Havertz didn't get sent off means that in the 89th minute of what was a pretty dire football match, other than a few crazy moments, we get the win that we desperately need. We got Arsenal against Leicester, I think, after this game now, and Arsenal are creeping up. United get a Ronaldo hat-trick to get 3 points yesterday too. Spurs are Spurs, so we don't worry about them, but Chelsea needed that result, and after what was a game that we really struggled to get a foothold in, a game where we seriously struggled to do anything in the transition. We were poor today. Don't get me wrong, it was not a great performance, even though I'm buzzing with the win. Sometimes in football, you've just got to accept that for what it is. But we begin, box number 1, it's a blue for Kai Havertz. I've given him a blue because single-handedly, he has won Chelsea this game. It is a sublime finish. Jorginho's ball in, Kai Havertz's finish is world class. We have seen in the last few weeks that Kai Havertz now is cooking. And I don't know if you guys remember, I'm sure some of you do, some of you won't, but just a few weeks ago I said that Kai Havertz has got to be playing every single game right now for Chelsea because he is just a goal or two away from being that player that can absolutely change things for us. And lo and behold, once again today, Kai Havertz is the match winner. It is a beautiful finish, and not only that, a couple of minutes later, when Chelsea could just be running the ball into the corner, trying to run the clock down, Kai Havertz almost scores again. Dubravka makes a great save, tips it onto the crossbar, and it took us 77 minutes, I think it was, to get our first attempt on target. And guess who it was? It was Kai Havertz. He looked like the only person in a Chelsea shirt today that was ever going to score a goal. Other than him, we were poor. And as we go through the rest of this video, I've got to just, for the sake of football, give box number 2 as a red box for David bloody Coote. Like I said earlier, Coote is a bird, it's a duck. And to be honest, I don't even think that David Coote could be refereeing a game of flipping football on a lake with a load of ducks running around. He wouldn't know what to do. The game absolutely got away from him today. And I think the last time he refereed a game at Stamford Bridge was the 5-3 that we were beaten by West Brom when he sent off Thiago Silva. I think that was the last time he refereed at Stamford Bridge. And I'm not just like making jokes, and of course, now that we've got the win, I can kind of make jokes and laugh it off a little bit. But in all seriousness, from a footballing sense, he ruined the game. He was blowing his whistle every couple of seconds. There were questionable decisions that went in Chelsea's favour that probably really shouldn't have done, to be honest. I kind of feel for Newcastle a little bit, because if the game would have finished 0-0, we'd have only been talking about the bad refereeing decisions. Now, Newcastle's 9-game unbeaten run is over. As a Chelsea fan, of course, I'm delighted about that because we just won. But, come on. There's been a question about the standard of refereeing in this country for so long. And I think today just proved that it's beyond a problem. He's awful. He should never be refereeing a game again. I put on Twitter that he wouldn't even be able to referee Leyton Orient versus Halifax Town. I also think he couldn't referee a game with Ducks. But we move into box number 3, and it's a yellow for a player who came on and actually made a massive difference. So it could be a green, but I've given it a yellow because I want to pose a question for you guys in the comments down below. How does Mateo Kovacic not start every game for Chelsea? Now, Jorginho gets the assist with a great pass for the goal that Kai Havertz scores. N'Golo Kante, we're going to talk about him in a moment. But Mateo Kovacic, I think he's just so good. When he comes on, he was the only other player that did what Kovacic did when he came on today was Rudiger. We were relying on our centre-back to drive us forward, to run with the ball, to try and make beautiful passes over the top to get Chelsea in between the lines against the Newcastle team that did sit back but then also looked good on the transition. Mateo Kovacic, in my opinion, has to start every Premier League game for Chelsea. I think he is that good, and although we've got so many good players, and you can understand why, especially after having a game on Thursday night, Thomas Tuchel's going to want to rotate things, but Kovacic I just think is far too good to not be starting every game for Chelsea. That's the question I want to know. Do you guys agree with me? Do you see what I see? I see a wonderful player in Mateo Kovacic. He comes on, drives Chelsea forward, brilliant with the ball at his feet, dribbling through that Newcastle midfield, which is something we could hardly do all game. But we move into box number 4, and again, it's a yellow because I think Trevor Chalobah, as brilliant of a season as he's had, there have been a couple of moments in recent games where he's concerned me a little bit with the erratic nature of some of his defensive decisions. I will sit here all day and tell you, even as a Chelsea fan, in the second half when Murphy goes down in the box, it's a pen. It's a pen all day long, and I bring it back to box 2. The red for the referee in, it should be a penalty. You've got VAR there as well, you've got people watching it. He's pulling his shirt, and on any other day, with even a slightly better standard of refereeing, I think Chelsea concede a penalty there, and it's an individual error that we don't see very often, if not at all, from Chalobah, but I think today he was pushing it a little bit. So I've given him box number 4, but we've got to finish on a positive. After such a big start to this video with the blue for Kai Havertz, I've got to give box number 5 to Tony Rudiger. Only if this game finished 0-0, I'm telling you, people were tweeting me saying, how on earth are you going to make a 6 things we learned from this match? I was sitting there wondering if it was going to be possible, but then there was this moment where Tony Rudiger's running back. He gives the ball to Mendy, but before he's even got close to the ball, he starts kicking the air. Tony Rudiger is entertainment, okay? And for that reason alone, he would have got himself a box, because quite frankly, I wasn't really entertained by the football match I saw today. But once more, bringing it back to actual football things instead of just like me attempting comedy, Tony Rudiger was one of the only players throughout the whole game who actually tried to get Chelsea forward. When he got the ball, he tried to carry it. Some of the passes he made with the outside of his boot were absolutely fantastic, getting Chelsea into more positive areas of the field. Rudiger sees those passes. They didn't quite turn into anything today because Timo Werner was poor, Mason Mount was poor, and we couldn't really create much because Newcastle did defend so well, and positionally, they had our number for the majority of the game. But the only person who I thought, until Kovacic came on and drove forward, was actually going to create anything good for Chelsea was Rudiger. But we finished box number 6. N'Golo Kante. He came on for a cameo at the end of the game against Norwich, helped Chelsea see the game out, gets forward, gets the assist for the Kai Havertz goal. Today, there were moments where, again, N'Golo Kante breaks up the play in the middle against very, very strong Newcastle midfielders in Longstaff and Guimaraes, who I thought everybody for Newcastle had a decent game. And based off the balance of play, they probably could have beaten us today. But N'Golo Kante, there were moments once more where we just see how much this guy can bring to the table. Jorginho, I think, had a solid game. He gets the assist as well, but Kante's the game changer. Even in injury time in that second half, where he somehow manages to keep hold of the ball, to stop Newcastle regaining possession. They've got fast players for the counter-attack. N'Golo Kante prevented that from happening. And as much as this game will not live long in the memory, that Kai Havertz goal could be one of the biggest goals we see this season. It is an end to a week full of turmoil for Chelsea, a week full of stress, personally for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys as well. And just because we won this game, the stress doesn't go away. There are still a lot of questions that need answering. There are still plenty of discussions and talking points in the next coming weeks about the future of our club, but all you can do is beat what's put in front of you, and Kai Havertz is the best on earth. That's all I can say, really. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0. Let me know the 6 things you learned from this game in the comments down below. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new, and I'll see you guys later. Come on, you Blues.